Hello and welcome back to Barbastella. I'm doing a bit of a different video today. Instead of a review or whatever, I'm doing a reaction video. This is a video posted by CNET on cars. It says how to detail your car, pretty much. This is like the big general overview for normies, I suppose. And this is a 10-year-old video, so we'll see what happens. But let's just react to it together, you know, me and you. I do, in the future, have a built Hamburg touchless review coming. Big product, I'm excited to review it, so stay tuned for that. But enough of the intros, let's get into the juicy bits with car journalist Brian Cooley. Yeah. How to detail. No, we're off to a bad start. You do not ever drag a finger over like filth on a panel like that, because it scratches the paint, but whatever. So strike one.
Your car's all tired and dirty looking, kind of like this one. But instead of spending the next 5 years paying for a new one, how about you spend one afternoon making this look like a new one? You get a sense of satisfaction and a new looking car.
Okay. Yes, do the wheels first. That's a plus. We are on strike one. +1.
Now, wheels with their complicated patterns and dirt in every little nook and cranny are perhaps the best reason to have someone else wash your car. I hate doing these. That's why I found this stuff. The motorcycle guys turned me onto it. It's called S100 Wheel Cleaner. If it avoids you having to go through every nook and cranny with one of these dumb brushes, I'm in.
There is no product that will avoid you having to get in nook and crannies. I don't care what the wheel cleaner is. You can't just use it on a filthy wheel and then go, all right, time to rinse. You need brushes and tools and mitts. That's just part of it. So, 2 strikes.
Next, it's time to wash the car. And the first thing you do is just get it real wet.
I avoid getting cars wet, like a pre-rinse before I wash, because you're just going to dilute your soap. It's kind of a waste of water, time, and resources. You're on strike 3, Brian.
Okay, bucket number 1, bucket number 2. This one's where you're going to make your soap
bucket
in water.
method.
Fewer folks do number 2.
Yeah.
That's going to be plain water to rinse the grit out of our wash mitt periodically, so we're not just spreading it around the car. Now, what you make your suds out of?
No grit guards in the bottom of his buckets. That's kind of like the whole thing the 2-bucket method is hinging on, to keep dirt out of your mitt. But I'm gonna let it slide, Brian. Do you, Brian?
There's an automotive car wash. Don't go grab the strongest stuff you got under your kitchen sink. And you don't use
Also nice, he's not using like dish soap. He's using like a car soap from Griot's Garage. Nice. That's
I
like 2
these little
pluses,
kind
3
of
strikes.
weird little fingery wash mitts. Saves you a lot of getting in there with your fingers.
I use
That
those.
goes on into the suds. Start at the top of the car.
Lord, you are aggressive.
Inside the wheel lip, around this rocker.
No, you do not go in the wheel arch where it's like dirtiest and then go back on the paint. That is, we're 3 for 3. That's a big no-no.
Inside the wheel lip, around this rocker.
Maybe the editing like sped it up, but that was crazy. He's going nuts.
Oh, here's an old trick the old guys use. They take off the nozzle and do a simple rinse with just the hose. They reason it all comes off as one piece and takes the dirt off better. It's either a bunch of BS or really brilliant.
I mean, it isn't BS, but it doesn't really do anything a pressure washer wouldn't. They take the nozzle off just to get more flow, more gallons per minute, and I guess it helps.
Physics, but it costs nothing to try. Okay, chuck the chamois and look into one of these deionizing filters for the final rinse. You can also find big ones on wheels.
Filter? Okay. No, don't do this. Don't do this. Here's why. Deionized water is great. It doesn't leave water spots and you don't have to dry the car. Well, you technically have to dry the car, but the sun will help with it and not leave any spots. So deionized water, good. How to get access to deionized water, kind of not good. It's really hard. Like, cheapo Chinese tools like this don't do anything. So I really doubt how much crud this thing is filtering out of the water. even decent systems like a CR Spotless or whatever cost so much money. This is baloney. This is baloney, Mr. Brian Cooley.
I hate drying cars.
You hate drying cars. You hate the wheels, you hate the paint, you hate drying. Just don't do it. He hates all of this, but he's showing you how to do it.
The one without a ring on it and run it
okay.
over your paint. Can you hear that?
Because you haven't scratched the car
You'll
once,
never
have
be
you?
able to hear your paint, but you can, because all those contaminants are stuck in it. It's like upside down sandpaper. We're going to get those off with a clay bar. Looks like a couple of pieces of yellow silly putty in little envelopes there. You've got this spray.
In little envelopes. I know my English isn't the best. That doesn't look like an envelope to me. It just looks like plastic wrap. It's just covered in plastic. It's not like an envelope. You know what? Maybe it's called an envelope, but I don't know any better. I'm going to give Brian some slack. I'm sorry, Brian.
Spray that you use to lubricate
Do you,
the
Brian?
clay as it glides over your paint, and another rag. You're going to have a lot of those when you get done.
I know I have a lot of those.
Just kind of mold this thing out till it's, about the size.
Another big plus for Brian, tearing off a piece of the clay bar and actually flattening it thin. A lot of people just take the whole bar and go in. That's not how you want to use it. Because one, it's a waste of money and clay. And two, you want to thin out a smaller piece to really dig into the contaminants. Good, Brian.
The palm of your hand.
Do you,
Select
Brian?
a small area of the hood or whatever panel you're working on. Get a little bit of this stuff going there. About a foot square is what I like to do. And take this clay,
Do you, Brian?
get it on there, and just go back and forth. You'll know you're done.
Why is he so gentle with the clay bar, but when it came, like, the car is free of dirt, he washed it. Now you want to be gentle and just, caress the paint. But when it was loaded with dirt and you had a washman in your hand, you wanted to take it to town. You confuse me,
When it
Brian.
no longer sticks. I don't know if you can see that, but see all those brown and black speckles in there? That's embedded grime that was stuck to the paint. I wish you were here on our shoot location. The difference between this and this is audible and totally tangible.
It's a good
And if you drop this guy on the ground, throw it away. You
Yeah.
don't even want a chance taking cement grit from your driveway and working it into your finish.
Good job, Brian.
Now, if you've discovered some new chips in your paint, this is the time to touch them up before the wax goes.
Don't do this if you're not like a pro detailer or even... This is crazy. Don't take like a brush. I mean, if you have a paint pen that you ordered custom color for your paint code, sure. Do it on a sunny day where it can dry and there's not debris everywhere. I would just avoid this. Try not to.
Okay, finishing now with our surface correction, we get to one of the biggest misunderstood areas about cleaning up a car, and that is polish versus wax. They're often mixed up in people's minds. Polish...
Why? You're supposed to do both. Like the bottle says, no buffing, no rubbing. But that's what you have to do to use the product. What do you expect to do? Squirt it on the paint and then rinse it off? You have to buff it and you have to rub it. That's how polish works. Also, you use both. You polish the car to get the paint nice and then you wax it to keep it nice.
Off a
But
fine
do you,
layer
Brian?
of your finish and delete scratches in it. Wax is something you use to seal the
I like
finish
the vocabulary.
after you've washed, clay barred, and or polished it, whatever combination. Most people will put so much on that they get polish and or wax down in all their crevices. You don't even need to go within a half an inch of crevices. That way you
That's true. Avoid using too much of this stuff. Oh, look at him buffing and rubbing, just like the things that he wouldn't have to do.
let it dry to a haze. Takes about a minute or two. Okay, then a separate, nice dry buffing rag that's not...
Another plus for Brian here. That looks like a nice plush buffing towel. That isn't like some rag. That looks like a nice, plush towel that's designed to do
at
this.
all to get this haze off.
Good job.
It takes almost no effort at all.
Yeah.
Now, wax is something you put on to protect all the work you've just done. Put
Yes.
this stuff on pretty...
Also, I know this is a 10-year-old video, but nowadays, and I know that people still do this, but I don't use tin can paste waxes. It's not in the 30s. I'm not shining a guy's shoes at a baseball game. There are modern spray waxes that do the job way better, last 10 times longer, 10 times stronger. Like in every attribute, they're significantly better. And by just spraying and wiping with a towel, you definitely don't rub paste into your paint and potentially scratch it. If this is your deal and you like doing paste waxes, good for you. I live in the 21st century. Sorry, not sorry. Do you, Brian?
liberally.
Continue.
And again, almost no effort here. Think of it as like a moisturizer or an aftershave. You just did a real deep clean. Now you want to put something back in there and make it feel good. Now tires. Some folks think putting tire dressing on looks tacky. Others think detailing's not done until you have put it on. It's up to you. I use Armor All, but I get the low sheen, natural finish.
A few things wrong with what you just said, Brian. Armor All is a no-no. Try and avoid using their products no matter what. That bottle doesn't say Tire Shine on it. It says detailer. It says detailer. So is it like an interior detailer or a paint detailer? Either way, whichever of those two it is definitely not a dressing or a tire shine. Don't put that on. Don't buy this ever, and don't put it on your tires. That's a strike, Brian.
I just spray it on.
I'm trying to help you,
Leave it
man.
on. I don't rub it in or anything like that. All I do is take off
Whatever,
the excess
man.
after
You're
I'm done.
confusing me.
I'm not taking a break. The old school trick is to take newspaper, wad it up, get some window cleaner.
Don't do this. Don't take newspaper to your glass. Take a glass towel or just a microfiber towel and just clean your glass with glass cleaner.
On it, and use that to polish your glass. Today we have a more high-tech solution, and that's stuff like Rain-X, which turns your glass into
So Rain-X doesn't polish your glass, and newspaper certainly doesn't polish your glass. You need a glass polish machine with glass polishing pads, or you can polish glass by hand. But neither of these two polish glass. I don't know what you're on, Brian.
which turns your glass into a more sealed, more hydrophobic environment. You polish this stuff
That's
in
what that
kind of
does.
like a polish or a wax, and once it dries to a haze,
I wish he took the windshield wiper arms and put them up so you can get the whole windshield. But do you, Brian? This is today's motto. Do you, Brian? I'll get a t-shirt with that. Do you, Brian? By the way, Barbastella Detailing t-shirt. Whatever, man.
rough
Whatever.
it off. You'd be amazed how the water runs off.
I'd be amazed.
Look here as I spray with a water bottle on the side of the windshield that I did seal and the side that I didn't. You can see that water just runs away on the Rain-X side. It's good stuff.
Yep. Cleaning the chrome,
Chrome
etc.
cleans up great with glass cleaner. You can also use real fine steel wool if it needs it.
Glass.
Next thing is Lexol's great for leather. You've probably seen this stuff. It's not cheap, but it really works.
Let me point out that Lexol is a leather conditioner, not a cleaner. So it's kind of like a wax. You clean the leather first, and then put a conditioner on it to keep it clean. That's kind of how that works. So don't get this twisted. It is not a cleaner.
And if you've got extremely stiff, dried out leather, take a big old sloppy handful, massage that stuff in until it's a wet.
Don't do that either. What is Brian doing? Oh no. You just took a goop in a handful of it. He just said he had a lot of towels left over from the clay bar.
And another rag. You're going to have a lot of those when you get done.
Why can't he just go grab one of those, man?
Massage that stuff in until it's a wet mess, then leave it that way. In fact, I might even put a little
No,
plastic.
no. 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 What are you doing, Brian?
Car like this, once again, low sheen,
This is the stuff he put on the tire. Is it an interior detailer or not?
Armor All. Same stuff we use on the tires.
Same
And when you're
stuff
doing
we
your
use.
glass, I use a non-marine glass cleaner. Spray. Just about seeing the light at the end of the tunnel of your detail. What do you do to keep the car nice day to day? First of all, keep one of these big old car duster brushes in the trunk.
Don't own one of those. Don't use one of those. Don't buy one of those. These microfiber dusting tools, stay away from them. Whether the car is really dirty or you washed it yesterday, don't use one of these. You're taking a dry application duster and rubbing applicants or rubbing contaminants into your paint. Doesn't matter if it's really clean or really dirty. Keep these far away from your car.
Use it on a filthy car, but if it's dusty, these are great. They sharpen the car right up.
No.
Glass cleaner is
Don't
great
do
for
it.
glass as well as for chrome bright work around the car. Again,
I mean, yeah, if glass gets dirty, use a glass. What were you going to say?
real quick, spray it on, microfiber rag, take it off, and then you've got these instant detailers. A lot of brands of these. Give it a quick spritz with this, wipe it dry.
Yes, you can use quick detail sprays or waterless washes day to day, once a week. Obviously not on dirty cars. Wash the car, and this is just to maintain a wash in between washes. These are great tools. Definitely use them responsibly.
Kind of a cleaning, waxing all in one. Nice.
I don't know about the waxing part.
Half a day is about what it's going to take you to do your car right. When you're done, you got a car that looks phenomenal. It's actually more fun to drive because you just feel good about it.
Sure.
I'm sure you got some great detailing tips that I don't know. Send them to me on cars.
Detailing tips. I have a whole essay for you, Brian. I have a 5-page essay on everything you did wrong today. And I am not going into the comments or emailing any of this to you. It's been 10 years. I hope you're doing well for yourself, Brian, but let us pray for Brian and this Lexus.
At CNET.com.
And the splooge on those
Get your
leather
car cleaned
seats.
up.
Okay. So, what did we learn today? The biggest no-no is splooging conditioner on your seats. Stay far away from that. I recommend this stuff. It's called Leather Nourish from Waxed Shine. It's great. It self-levels, so when you apply it to a seat, it kind of self-evaporates. You don't have to buff it off, and it cures on its own. Don't do what he did. Use grit guards in your buckets. Don't wash like a madman. Don't use any Armor All products, especially on tires, especially if they're not even tire shine. Just don't do any of what Brian is doing. All right, let's leave it at that. I'm proud of you, Brian, but you've got a ways to go. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this style of video. Let me know if you want more of these. Send me some videos too. I'll react to them. Leave a like. Consider subscribing. Helps out the channel. And just, yeah, stay tuned for the Bill Camber Touchless review. Really looking forward. It's a crazy good product. And yeah, thanks for watching. Eat something good today. Take care of yourself. Love you all. Bye.